Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's live stream. Kind of. I'm actually in the middle of rendering one of the overlays for this stream right now. And there's some other things that I need to do before I'm fully ready to stream. So, I'm just popping in here real quick to say I'm gonna actually start the stream maybe a little bit late. So like, give me 12 minutes. You know what? I'll pull up the intermission thing. I'll turn off the timer visual in the intermission thing because, ironically, that's literally the thing that I'm rendering. But I'll see you in 12 minutes, and then we'll actually start the stream. Just 12 minutes late, and lose 12 minutes worth of time ish, depending on however long this ramble was. But anyway, see you in 12 minutes. Sorry for the wait, everyone. I'm actually going to check on Firefox and see if the stream is still running, because, boy, are we having some technical difficulties today. OBS froze a couple times, so I just need to double check Firefox, but as you can see through the Firefox blur thing that's covering Krita for some reason, I'm going to be working today on Shadowfox Gaming's Twitch TV overlay. That's the first thing I'm going to work on, but let me just double check Firefox real quick. Let me just double check. Okay, yes, it appears that the stream is running, so good. Good. All right, now that the technical difficulties are out of the way, let's begin. So, I just kind of spontaneously decided to work on this because I randomly remembered it while I was setting up for the stream today. So, so this is what I'm going to be working on because it's well overdue. I kind of forgot that this was even one of the projects I was supposed to be working on. So, apologies, Shadowfox Gaming, for the incredibly long delay in getting your commission done here, but what now? Is the whole computer freezing? Yes, the whole computer is freezing, and I'm just gonna keep talking as if it isn't freezing because I don't know if the stream is still recording despite the freeze. Oh, okay, we're unfrozen. I don't know what froze my entire computer for a second there. And now, hopefully the stream didn't crash. I'm not gonna check it, I'm just gonna keep going. Through the fire and the flames we carry on, or however they sing it, whatever. I don't listen to power metal, just wanted to make that joke. But yeah, anyway, where I last left off with this stream overlay, I think, was just adding these highlights, or at least that's what it looks like, because I noticed a lot of them aren't really in a finished state, or at least some of them aren't as bright as I think they ought to be, so I'm gonna brighten some of these highlights with just a pure white brush. Just smudge, blur, blend, whatever, to get them to really look better. Kind of crazy day today. I kind of took a nap the day before yesterday. Went to bed kind of late afternoon-ish, early afternoon-ish, but then I woke up the next day, so my entire sleep schedule is a bit crazy right now. I do have a good amount of energy despite all of that, but because of the crazy sleep schedule, even though I have energy, I think my brain is a little strange right now. So, it's strange in a good way, though. Like, usually I'm not this energetic and not this, I don't know, not thinking this clearly. Like, today I actually feel like I'm thinking really clearly, which is really nice. So, it's a good thing, because it means I can get stuff done that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. So, having ADHD can be pretty annoying sometimes. Never know when my brain's going to actually work or when it's going to decide to just lay on the sofa and watch TV all day, even if I am not doing so physically. It's like I'm trying to work on a project, but my brain is just watching Netflix. You know, it's just kind of annoying that I can't stay focused sometimes. But But anyway, I'm just going to brighten all these highlights. That's kind of what I've decided I'm going to do today. And then I might actually add some occlusion shadows right up against the edges of the stream too, because this kind of still looks like it doesn't look physically integrated, if that makes sense. It just kind of, I don't know. It might be a silhouette thing too, that these stones and stuff are just it's too perfectly cut off here to really be believable as like cobblestone. So what I'm going to do about that after I've finished with these highlights just around areas where I think they could be brighter is I'm probably going to actually mess with the silhouette a little bit. I'm going to have the stones just very slightly go inward into the game view area and stuff, just to break up the silhouette, make it less perfect. I'll just merge that layer down and yeah, really give it the cobblestone look that I'm trying for. And I also definitely need to add some occlusion shadows in some places, because I don't know, it doesn't, like, especially these edges, it just, to me, it feels like they should, even though they're highlit from the game view, which is glowing and stuff, I feel like a lot of these actually need a little bit of a shadow on them instead. So, actually, since that's what I'm thinking about right away, I'm gonna take care of that right away before I get distracted with some other aspect of the art and forget what I'm supposed to do. So I'm gonna just use the line tool here, because it's such a thin border, it doesn't really need to have those like hand painted imperfections and stuff. It really doesn't matter there because of how thin it is. Here I might need some of the imperfections, so I'm going to do this part by hand, and then just use my smudge brush to blend that in a little bit. See, that already looks better. This doesn't look better. I need to take care of this here, but yeah. Yeah, having actual, like, slight occlusion shadows is going to really help a lot here, I think. Because the way light works, if it gets trapped in a very small space like a crack, or in this case the edges of these stones, it can't actually escape the crack before it just kind of diffuses, dies out, or whatever. So none of it, since it's trapped in the crack, actually reaches our eyes, and that actually appears as darkness. Even though there is light there, it's just the light isn't reaching our eyes, so it just kind of looks dark as a result. And so that's actually what ambient occlusion shadows are, fundamentally, scientifically, whatever, is just light not being able to reach our eyes because it's trapped, bouncing in a tiny little space. And every time light bounces, it kind of loses some of its brightness, as far as my understanding is, at least insofar as it applies to the way I render things in art. So basically, because it's trapped in such a small space, it loses all its energy and doesn't make it to your eyes, and then because of that, it just appears as darkness, and that's where the occlusion shadows actually come from. So I don't know how scientific that is. It's probably more just shorthand to understand it as an artist than it is scientifically accurate. But even so, it's useful for making things appear realistic. And in artwork, really, that's all that matters, is how it looks. Who cares how scientifically accurate the light is, as long as it appears aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot of artwork, for example, that'll make really bright highlights on the character, even though the lighting situation they're in wouldn't realistically have them that bright. And they do that because it's the main character. And the main character needs to stand out from the rest of the picture, so they make the character really bright. And that's not wrong. That's not even a mistake. That's literally a technique that's genuinely useful in artwork, in composition and stuff. Why are these so hard? I need to blend some of these out. It's like I completely forgot about them at some point. But lost my train of thought because I got distracted by how hard those edges were. Let me paint some of these highlights back in. Be a little lazy with it, but it's a-okay. It's alright. And actually, I don't know how his Twitch overlay actually works, if the chat has its own background, or if it's like transparent, so I could put my own kind of stone texture back there. I'll have to ask him about that at some point, but if I can put like a stone background here, at least even just for me, it'll help me do this art better, because it'll help me visualize kind of the lighting a little better if it just looks like a stone, darker texture instead of just this white featureless gray. Sounds like someone's breaking into a car out there. Oh, never mind, the alarm just shut off. Probably someone just pushed the wrong button on their remote or something. On their keys. Happens to the best of us. And the worst of us alike. Probably more to the worst of us, but you know. Right, I don't even really know what I'm doing here. I really need to repaint some of these highlights, I think. Generally, I'm kind of painting shadows and highlights in the same space here, and that's kind of not working out super duper well, but I'm sure I can make it work. But I mean, the occlusion shadows are definitely making it feel more integrated and more physical, though. I can definitely see a difference in the places where I've actually gone and done those. So I just need to keep doing those. I'm using the line tool again just because I'm lazy. But I shouldn't blend it with too large of a radius there, because the occlusion shadow needs to be somewhat thin instead of just a blur. Because the occlusion shadow is caused by, again, just light being stuck in a very small space. So the shadow needs to appear to be a very small, thin shadow, basically. There we go. That's looking better. Just gonna carefully blend here. And then could do with a little repainting there. And then I think that's looking okay. This is a little too bright now though, so I might as well just kind of sample a slightly darker gray here and kind of reduce some of that a little bit. And then I'll go over it again and with the blending brush. Feel almost like I'm putting too much effort into this. But I'm enjoying myself. So this feels like it needs a highlight here. I'm kind of losing track of my layer management here, so I'm just going to merge some of the layers and kind of try to get into a painter's mindset here. Just kind of a zen thing of just letting my instincts do the work instead of trying too hard. Because sometimes when you're doing something in artwork that's taking a very long time, like all these little details and stuff, it's just kind of becomes a zen-ish state of like, you just shut your brain off and then it's like that thing I was joking about earlier. When I'm trying to do something, sometimes even though I'm working, my brain is just watching Netflix. It's actually kind of a good thing sometimes because I can use that to actually do the work without feeling burned out due to the tedium of it. Because even though I'm painting, I am also just thinking about random other stuff while I'm painting. Like right now, you know, I'm thinking about what I'm saying, about the thought process. I'm not thinking as much about what I'm actually doing in the artwork here. I'm just kind of talking while I paint, and I think that's good. I think it's coming out now actually better right here. Because I'm specifically not paying attention to it. Sometimes if I pay too much attention to stuff, I overthink, and because I'm overthinking, I'm not doing super well at what I'm actually trying to achieve. And see, like up here now, like I mentally just kind of checked back in with what I was actually doing here, and I realized because of this sort of monologue that I'm doing, I actually went and here I'm fixing some shading mistakes just on autopilot basically, and it's working out, I think, fairly well. So it's like just kind of a special state of mind for artistry. You can just turn off your brain and just do the work. It takes a lot of training, to be fair. You kind of have to practice enough to where you can do things correctly on autopilot. But I mean, once you reach a certain level of skill, you know, it becomes natural, and then it's the overthinking and stuff that actually gets in the way, not the lack of skill. And so that's kind of where I am now with some of this shading stuff. I'm still a learner, definitely, but like I know just enough to where I can kind of just do things on autopilot more or less, and it'll work out. Let's see. This is a little too bright, so that's why I'm just painting in some shadows here. Then I'm gonna go in and brighten it up again probably, but because I did really good down here, so this is what I kind of want the rest to look like. And I don't know if I'm actually doing super well here, but I'm kind of doing the same process, so I'm sure with the same process it'll come out relatively similar. It's kind of a highlight with a shadow right next to it. And they're both physically on the same edge of the rock, but I'm just gonna but it's done in a way where like the rock has a highlight on the edge, but then it drops down into shadow. So I don't know if that made any sense at all, but it makes sense to me, so I guess that's what matters, at least. As long as it makes sense to me, since I'm the one painting this. I just blended a shadow into oblivion that I probably shouldn't have. There we go. Honestly, with this occlusion shadow idea, I might not even necessarily need to modify the silhouette of these rocks that much. Which is good, because like, since it's the Twitch overlay, the aspect ratio of the game view probably needs to be a perfect 16:9, and if I, like, who knows what games Shadowfox will be playing and stuff, so if I even make these stones come out into the game view just a little bit, it might be covering up UI and other stuff, even just slightly, and that won't be a good thing for it. So if I can keep the game view as a perfect rectangle, that'll be good. This is a very careful balance, though, because I really need these rocks to look like they're physically like curving and stuff, but I also need it to have somewhat believable lighting too, and not fall for cartoonish, like blatantly incorrect lighting stuff like I just here did, where it was just blurred too much. Like I want to make sure there's still some physicality to these rocks, and yeah, it can be a tricky balancing act, but I think I'm doing decent at it so far. This little rock keeps bugging me, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then do some highlights on these rocks, do some occlusion shadows here. Part of the secret is to blend just the edges. You don't want to blur the entire thing, but you do want to blend just the edges of stuff, because if you blend the whole thing, it kind of loses the illusion of physicality, if that makes sense. And I'm not even sure how to explain why that happens. It just does. Because if you blend just the edges, you retain some hardness. But if you blend the whole thing, it just kind of, you might as well have erased it instead of just blending it. Like here, for example, if I blend this whole line, the line is basically not there anymore. But if I undo some of this, I can demonstrate that if I blend just the edges and I like kind of shape the cobblestone around it like this, you could see the shadow is still there and still healthy and alive and all that stuff, because I didn't basically erase it by just blending it into oblivion. So it's kind of a secret of how to make these rocks kind of feel more physical, is not blending the edges. I mean, blending just the edges, but not blending the lines in a way where the lines just completely disappear. It's almost like sculpting in 3D with what I'm doing here. Like I'm kind of pushing around the physical borders of the stone and stuff. And when I get carried away, I just kind of draw a shadow really dark in there again, and I just try again. And eventually it comes out looking good. Like that. Just kind of trying to see what other areas might need some work. It's I'm noticing a lot of the lighting is just inconsistent everywhere, which I'm not a fan of, but I'm realizing there's not really that much I can do about it that I'm aware of. Like I'm not sure how to make the lighting more consistent. I'm sure there's like a creative filter I can just apply, like a normal, I would call it like a normalization filter, but I'm not really sure what's called in the software. Otherwise I would probably just use it right now to make these highlights and these other highlights more or less the same. Actually, I do have an idea. Let's see, filter, adjust, levels. Let's play around with this a little bit. You guys can't see the levels overlay because of how I have OBS set up, but if I just drag the highlights or the midtones all the way to the left here, that kind of normalizes everything to be kind of the same. And then if I go and apply the levels again, and this time I move them to the right, it kind of restores it back to the brightness I originally wanted, and yeah, that kind of took care of it. Everything's kind of the same brightness now, so cool. And I think, I don't want to jump the gun necessarily, but I think I have painted the cobblestone to a satisfactory level here. Well, mostly. There are still little areas like this that I could take care of. But I could get real pedantic about this, real perfectionist, but I don't want to. Like, I wanna not work on this for eternity, you know? I want to finish it at some point. And as Picasso or Vincent van Gogh or whoever it was once said, an artwork is never finished, only abandoned. And so I need to figure out when a good time is to abandon this artwork, because I'm not going to finish it. That's not going to happen. It never happens. So I'll just call it good on the shading there, and now I'm going to add my texture pass, which I kind of do somewhat lazily. I just use some of Krita's default brushes and just do this, basically. It's not a super creative process, unlike the painting. And then I change the blend mode a little bit, kind of make the opacity really low, and then I just add another layer and do the same thing with a different texture. I should probably, yeah, just do that, make it fairly transparent too, and one more layer of the same thing, but I'm going to invert the brightness after I do it. I should turn this clipping off or on. Yeah, I'll just do this, make it real dark so that it's really light when I invert the brightness, and again, just very low opacity. And there we go. I think we're basically done. I kind of think if I just fill the background layer with complete black, I don't know why the game view's semi-transparent. Okay, that explains a lot. I'll just actually make it a very dark gray. Like, well, maybe a little lighter than that. And then I'll do slightly darker. My idea is to actually do some soft shadows here, even though Shadow Fox is going to cover all this with stuff. Like, in case he uses transparent elements or whatever, I actually kind of think that that it will be good to add some stone texture. Let's see. Because he might, for all I know, actually use somewhat transparent graphics. So I want there to be some texture behind these boxes just in case he does that. Darken that up a bit. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna make that completely black. And then I'll just Gaussian and blur this bunch. I don't know what I'm doing here. Hold on. If I hide the clipping group, what's going on here? If I okay, I kind of got lost in the layers soup a little bit here, but I'll be all right now. I should actually run a morphological filter on this using GMIC or whatever it's called. Let me make sure I'm doing things right. It's processing. All right. Let me do that again. Yeah, and then Gaussian blur. And then invert that so that it's like shadow, and then I'll just do a levels adjustment on this, kind of make it a lot darker like that. And I'm gonna do a Gaussian blur to get rid of a lot of the banding I saw there. And now what I'm going to do is make this layer into a darken layer and make the underlying layer kind of that color, maybe a little darker. Actually, let me do burn. Nah. Luminosity. No. Huh. This is not working the way I want it to. This entire plan sucks. Just do this. Plan B, I'm going to actually just select the area here, and I'm just going to take a soft round brush and do the shadowing manually here. Which was actually what I initially was going to do, but then I decided, nah, I'm going to do it the easy way. And the easy way kind of didn't work at all. So now I'm doing it the manual way. If I really wanted to do it the easy way, I would just tell ChatGPT to do this whole thing for me. But I'm an artist. I'm not a AI bro, so not gonna happen. I mean, I do use ChatGPT casually for jokes and stuff, and when I need a quick image for something that I'm not really that serious about. Like I have used it to generate movie posters for a few of my home videos and stuff. And it did insanely well at it, but I mean, I would never want to do that for any serious use case. Not because of the bad quality or anything, but simply because it's generative AI, or as I sometimes like to jokingly call it, degenerative AI. So I do use AI for casual use and jokes and stuff, but any serious use is like, why do people think it's even okay to use it for serious purposes? I don't like that. AI is a joke at best, in my opinion. And I mean, yeah, it has legitimate use cases, but they're far and few in between for the most part. But anyway, enough of that topic. Let me try to just think more about what I'm doing here, because I'm kind of disobeying my own rule here of blending just the shadows, or I mean the edges, just blending the edges of stuff, and that's kind of causing things to disappear here. So let me just pay more attention here. Looks good. Gonna repair some of the mishaps here too in the same manner. Gotta blur just the edges, not the middle. Because yeah, when you blend the middle, that's what happens right there. Don't want that. So let me blend just the edges. Nope, not the middle, just the edges. Sometimes my own hand does not listen to me. Little annoying. Just the edges. Just the edges. Gotta consciously remind myself, because if I get too carried away, that's what happens. Yep, just did it again. Bro, just the edges. Just blend the edges. Alright. Not as much of a danger on this left side, so I can just do this. Oh, no, there is a danger. Let me go in and fix some of where it's too bright. So hard to do this. Usually, I feel like I'm overthinking it probably because I don't recall this particular task being this hard previously. Maybe it's just the way I'm handling it is kind of messing everything up. But he'll be covering most of this with gameplay footage and a chat and all that stuff anyway, so maybe I shouldn't really care anywhere near as much as I am, but let's just pick a color here and maybe a bit darker. Perfect. Increase brush size. Just do this, then invert, new layer, cracks texture, do this. Oh, larger brush, do this. Very, very light opacity. And then, cherry on top will be to use the paint bucket tool. It's not letting me select it for some reason, but use the paint bucket tool to fill this all in with black and then just make it a low opacity to kind of make this fairly dark. And there you have it. I think that is Shadow Fox's Twitch overlay finished, basically. I'll send it to him, see what he thinks, but I think this is done. I think it looks pretty sweet. It's actually the first fully rendered thing that I've done for him. So let me save it as a PNG in his folder. And then, let's see here. Where is the hard drive going? Ah, there we go. Cool. I have the wrong chat selected here. Probably shouldn't be sending it to him on stream, but since I just finished it, I am excited and would like to send it to him, so I'm going to. As soon as my computer catches up with what I'm doing. Discord, of course, has its own streamer mode thing, which is nice. Blacks out the entire screen here. My computer is being real slow. It didn't even pick up the fact that I dropped that in Discord. Let me try that again. Alright, now it's working. Cool. Sent it to him. Didn't say any context or whatever, but I trust that he knows exactly what that is. Pretty sure he's gonna love it. He always does. So. Cool. I finished his overlay. So, break time is in 5 minutes anyway, so I'll just await whatever feedback he may have about it, then apply that feedback, and then I'll take intermission. Heh. Yep, he sent me feedback, said he liked it. So, cool. There was a Discord bug recently that I almost just got banned for by sending this image. Thankfully, they fixed it. At least it looks like they fixed it. If I completely disappear from Discord, though, you'll know why. It's because I sent this extremely horrible, vile image of a Twitch TV overlay made out of cobblestone. And they categorized it as a certain thing that I am not going to say out loud. But yeah, they probably fixed that bug. So, yeah, he just sent me some additional feedback he wants me to just completely remove the background of the game view window. So let me just select only the game view. Let's see. Actually, let me see if I can reduce the selection. That little trick, and then select that, and then cool. Now just the game view is fully transparent. Gonna save it as overlay.png, and I'm also going to save it as overlay.kra. Alright, that should do it. So, with only 2 minutes left until intermission, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, with only 2 minutes left until intermission, I'll just say the next thing I'm gonna work on is probably going to be another thing that that Shadowfox requested. I just pulled up my notes on the main screen, didn't mean to do that. But I do have other stuff Shadowfox wants me to make, so I'll probably work on some of those things now that the overlay is fully finished, and I'm very satisfied. I mean, he likes it, but I love it. This honestly looks really good. The cobblestone texture and stuff, I think it came out really good. So, yeah. Alright. I'll see you all in about 12 minutes after the intermission. Well, maybe 13 minutes. I'm like halfway through 12:59 and I take my break at 1. So, whatever. I'll see you when I see you. Probably in 12 minutes. See you in a bit. Alright. Whoa. Alright. Whoa. Alright. I'm getting some audio loopback problems here. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what that loud glitch sound effect was. Maybe it was like part of the glitch transition effect and I didn't realize it was. I'll have to view the live stream recording later and see if it is part of the stream. And if it is, I'm definitely getting rid of that. Because even though the visual is cool, I don't want that sound effect. Anyway, I'm going to put my artist glove on and start working on Shadowfox's Twitch TV rules box or rules banner, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start with the character sketch because in this one, he's like his actual character is going to make an appearance swinging a banhammer or something. I'm actually thinking of making the banhammer shaped like a judge's gavel, but it'll also still be a comically large banhammer. We'll see what I come up with, but gosh, I actually... this squeaky chair. Hold on. Okay. Actually don't have even a visual image in my mind of what I want his character to be doing other than just the vague notion he'll be swinging a banhammer, but I don't even know where to find reference for that pose. It's very vague image in my mind of like his arms are like behind him over his head, the handle of the hammer's like this, and then it's like that. Maybe there's like fire in his eyes or something. I don't know. Gosh, I don't even know how to start. I don't know why my brain's just drawing a complete blank all of a sudden, but I'll just start working, I guess, and see what comes to mind. Kinda I don't know what I'm doing. Gosh, my creative energy just left me. I don't know why. Unpleasant psychological glitch that I'm having here where I'm not actually sure I even know what I'm doing, even though I'm like going through the muscle memorized motions here. Actually don't even know what pose I'm gonna put his character in or anything. Just kind of drawing his face, but I'm doing so actually fairly poorly too. I think it was the glitch sound effect that I heard come through on my stream that's stuck in my head now for some reason, just that horrible screech, and that is completely ruining my focus. I don't know why, but there's just this weird psychological effect I have where when I hear a loud glitch sound like that, it like really gets stuck in my head for some reason. I don't even know why. But like it's so loud and it's like on a loop. It's like if you have an annoying song stuck in your head, but in my case it's even worse because it's literally just the sound of a horrible glitch. And it's really like breaking my concentration quite a bit here. Gosh, that doesn't look like his character at all. The nose is, like the cheek is too big here, for one thing, and the muzzle's maybe not wide enough. I think his character, the way I drew it, should have kind of a slightly wider muzzle like this, and then kind of a nose more like this. Just try to rein in my focus a little bit here. With the loud glitch sound effect that's stuck in my head still, it's pretty annoying. Well, his nose is wider, but now it's also narrower. That looks too cat-like. I mean, I know he's a tuxedo fox, so maybe it's okay if he looks a little cat-like, but it's not consistent with how I've drawn him thus far, so need to correct that. Nope, still too cat-like. I'm not really sure why. I think I'm not drawing his nose wide enough, maybe? Because I know his muzzle is a little wide the way I initially drew it in his profile picture. Can't get it to look right, though. It's this angle that's wrong. I don't know what's going on with my mind. Like literally just out of nowhere. Anyone watching probably noticed how quickly it happened too, but like I went from perfectly normal mood to just out of nowhere. Literally I can't even concentrate right now. I don't know what's going on. I cannot concentrate mentally on what I'm doing at all right here. I'll have to take a break, probably end the stream super early today, because I apologize. I don't know what is causing this weird psychological effect I'm having, where it's like I just can't focus at the moment. I'm in kind of a mental panic a little bit, so I'm gonna save what very little progress I made here. This really needs to stop happening. I feel like I end almost every live stream early. And I mean, on good days, it's only like a couple minutes early, and that's acceptable. But on bad days like this, I mean, we all have our bad days, so that's okay. But I feel like I have them more often than I should. But yeah, well, I'll just chalk it up to technical difficulties. Because a loud freaking glitch sound effect is playing in my head on loop. Some kind of, I don't know why my brain does that. It just does. Every single time I hear an especially loud static glitch, the sound plays over and over again in my head. And I can't get it out right now. So I'm gonna end the stream early. I apologize for that, everyone. It's awkward, it's annoying, but I cannot continue the stream today with whatever is going on psychologically here. Just a whole load of brain fog just rolled in. Don't know where it came from. But yeah, I can't work like this. So I'll drink some water. I'll maybe take a shower. Anything to kind of clear up whatever is going on here. But I'll see you all next week. I apologize for ending the stream extremely early, but I just don't think I can do this today, right now, because of whatever's going on. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the stream if you were here to watch it, and if you're watching this in the recording, either way, I'm glad you're here. I am very glad you're watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!